Now, we're going to spend 2 intensive hours talking about nothing but the thumb. And what I would really appreciate is don't spend a lot of time and energy taking notes or trying to grab the detail. The detail is all in the handouts, and you have that. What I want is at the end of 2 hours, I want you to be able to leave with a different way of thinking about and looking at the thumb, which then will help you as you shift into clinical evaluation and treatment. So I want you to sort of back away, and I'm going to give you lots of little parts and pieces, and I'm going to do that fairly quickly. But I want you to not focus on that. Focus on, okay, where does this fit in the big picture? Okay? We cannot talk about the thumb if we cannot describe it, and we collectively, as surgeons and therapists, do a really poor job with this. I'm so sorry. But the thumb cannot assume the anatomical posture. The hand can. We've got an area we can call posterior, anterior, medial, lateral, but we don't have that with the thumb. The thumb has a different axis to it, right? See the axis of the thumb. You always create an axis with the thumbnail. That gives you a plane. Otherwise, you're sort of disoriented. But you can see as soon as the thumb moves around now in abduction and opposition, that's now in relationship to that, and it's totally different, isn't it? Because what's dorsal to the thumb is radial to the hand. How confusing is that? So today, when I'm talking about the thumb, and I'm talking about an aspect of the thumb, everything orients on the thumbnail. You follow the thumbnail down directly, and you're on the dorsum of the CMC. You're on the radial aspect of the wrist. I'm not talking about the wrist. I'm talking about the thumb, okay? So dorsum, radial ulnar, and volar of the thumb. Okay, thank you. You're marvelous, thank you. So the plane of the nail and the plane of the pulp is dorsal volar, and then of course radial and ulnar. That's easy for us because we do radial and ulnar frequently. Okay. Now it gets even more complicated if we want to describe thumb motion, and we don't all agree. So we have a very poor way of communicating with one another about the thumb because we don't describe it the same, nor do we describe or identify the motions as the same. So there are 2 ways. One is called anatomic, one is called surgical. And you can see that they are not at all in agreement as to how they describe the motions of the thumb. Nothing is the same. But they do agree on one, and that is the opposition. The rotation of the thumb is the only common thread between these 2 ways of describing thumb motions. So the first thing I would suggest you do with your colleagues is you sit down and you decide which of those you're going to use. And you state that and you use that consistently so that you at least communicate well between one another. And then when you communicate with the outside world, hopefully they know which ones you're using. Questions? Okay.